Well, that was a quick break, and we are back here at Celebrity U. That was fun doing that movie thing. But he got started talking about getting on Twitter and social media and all those things, and that's what we're about to talk about. We've got our own Travis Blythe, the Blythe dog. That's at at Twitter, which is it's a BLY dog, DAWG, and we love him. So he's back with Corner6labs, and they do social media marketing, and they do all that for our company and our show. And you do a great job, by the way.
Thank you very much.
So we decided today that we'd kind of panel and talk about what we're all doing with our social media, because many of us use it. Some use more than the other, and we've got Catherine Hatcher. She stayed to be a part of this panel. Thank you, Catherine.
I did. You're welcome.
And you can get a hold of Travis at Corner6labs, and that's Corner6, the word 6.com. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Oh, no, I like to stand anyway. I feel like it, I speak better. I'm ready to go.
Now I feel like a slouch. I need to.
No, sit up.
Well, you think about it. I'm kind of bending down in here.
I'm slumping over.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. This is going to be a little bit of a different show than what we normally are accustomed to here for the lab report. So today, instead of having a particular guest or a particular topic, we're just kind of doing a round table type discussion regarding social media. There's been a ton of questions over the last few weeks people have been asking, and problems that people are having, and we do a lot of educational workshops to help people get better at social media. So what better forum for us than to come on here and have people ask us questions, and hopefully we can try to help them and find answers for them and go from there. So I don't have any particular one topic. I know we discussed talking about Facebook or Twitter, and you've got questions. So I figure you can fire away, and if I can't answer them, then I don't know what I'll do. But
well, I wanted first off, I was talking to Catherine, and she was going to talk about Facebook imaging.
I saw that on the notes.
Yeah,
and y'all skipped right over it.
Well, we decided to save it. Well, we decided to save it because since we were going to do this, that she would talk a little bit about her experience on Facebook from having me on there when she was talking about she has a lot of friends, more friends than me, and she's always posting, and so and you can hear Jimmy now. How come we'll find out why you would want to get off Facebook, but tell me your experience you were going to share.
Well, I use Facebook as a way to market my speaking business and my image business, but also I use it on a personal level too. So when it's during the daytime, during business hours, and if I'm working at my desk, I try to post every 4 hours or so, because I know that when I post, that puts me at the top of everybody's homepage. So they're like, oh, Catherine Hatcher. And so I try to post about what I'm doing, what I'm about to do. And, for a while I wondered if it was really doing any good until I started getting out and seeing people at networking events, and they go, oh my God, you are so busy. And it makes me look even more successful than I already am. And I've met people on Facebook. The guy that designed my business cards lived, at the time that he started on my cards, lived in Oregon. Now he lives in California. Never met him before. Did a phenomenal job on my business cards. I've found resources through Facebook, but also I've gotten work off of Facebook. And I've been able to promote my Amanda Marie Foundation. Lots of things have come because of Facebook. I will say it is a little bit addicting, and I have to actually I have to actually tell myself, okay, until I complete this project, I can't even look at a page, because it's
you get started sometimes and you look up and it's 2 hours later.
Yeah,
I know, it's like, where'd the time go?
Wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I don't have 2 hours.
Get out the Hootsuite and it'll really go crazy.
But, I've had people say, well, I don't like Facebook because I don't want everybody to know all this about me. And I say, don't put anything on there that you don't want people to know, so basically, for the most part, now I have a fan page. I guess they call it something else now.
It's still a fan page, business page. It's kind of the same thing. Instead of becoming a fan, though,
they either like it or they
like
don't.
It. Yeah, you like it.
So I have that page that's strictly business for my speaking business. It's Catherine Hatcher Professional Speaker, whereas the other one is just Catherine Hatcher, and I promote everything then on there. Every time I'm on Celebrity U, I post that. try to get some viewers here, and then I'll repost what's happened here on the show. So I found that it has really given me some almost celebrity status, if you will, on a much lower basis than.
And you're right. You put a lot of personal. He's been telling me that that's what I needed to do more of. So I've been using my Foursquare. And
I don't understand Foursquare, and I don't understand Twitter.
Well, I do like the Foursquare because it gives a shout out. You tell them where you are, and then you put a little note attending this, or when I went to the judge training, I started going because it showed what I was doing. I felt like at least I was posting every 4 hours, and then I talked to somebody. They said, "Golly," or they wrote me and they said, "I just love following you. Gosh, you do so much," and I really,
Right.
No, I don't think I've even logged in here today, but sometimes it's when I'm just now leaving. That's when I'll put it in there. But I like doing it. But I've gotten kind of addicted to the Twitter more. And
now, tell me about Twitter, because I've got like 29 followers. That's it.
Twitter is
I don't get
just
it.
another avenue. It's a little bit more powerful, I think, than Facebook.
Really?
Because Twitter seems to be a little bit more mobile, because everybody can update their Twitter messages and check it from mobile phones. I know Facebook has its mobile apps too, but it's just, for me, I find that the difference between Twitter and Facebook is because Facebook seems to be a little bit more private, a little bit more family-oriented, on people's personal pages, and you do want to block some content you share with people because you don't want to offend potential business clients if you're using your personal page for that.
tweet from Jimmy.
But Twitter, on the other hand, people want as much information as you can give. So imagine what you're currently doing now on Facebook if you started doing that just alone on Twitter, and maybe even doubled it. People crave that even more than they do on Facebook. They don't consider it as much of a nuisance to get the information. So
you can't request people to follow you. I go follow other people, but sometimes they don't turn around and follow me, so I don't know how you get people to follow you.
Well, you have to know, first of all, who your audience is.
Oh, heard that before.
It's just like with anything. It's who are you going after? What are the types of people that you want to know your message?
First, I would look in your Facebook friends, and that's a real good way to see. A lot of them will have a Twitter.
Yeah,
list
just post on your account, say who's on Twitter, follow me. Yeah. That works. But as far as we all know your audience. Well, that's great, but it's who do you think is going to find value in what you do? And one way to find those people is to find a competitor who does the same thing you do and follow all the people that are following them, because obviously they find the value in their message. Now your message,
that's a good idea.
Your message may not be, you don't want your message to be identical, but you can kind of see what they're doing. I mean, just like you do, you always want to keep your competition close and know what they're doing. And if they're doing something that works, you try to emulate it in a little bit way, maybe tweak it to fit your business model, and then do it better. If those people are, I guess let's say sports fans, you've got like Jimmy's a fan of Raider Nation. He's a big Raiders fan. Well, you go on his Twitter account and maybe he has a designated list that says, Raiders fans that he knows are Raiders fans, and you want to find Raiders fans, you could copy his whole list because that those people have that one interest. So you can go find people's lists that they have on their Twitter profiles and follow all those people. And then when you push the content out that they want, more times than not, they're going to follow you back. So instead of just randomly following random people that you may or may not get, if you do targeted searches that way, chances are they're going to follow you back because, they're going to see the type of content you're pushing, and then they're going to be interested in it enough to stay tuned in for more.
And and one of the things is I've met some neat people. I met this lady on a Twitter called Catherine Griffiths, and she's Catherine and I think it's Kathy Griffiths, GRIFFITIHS, on Twitter, and she wrote something recently that talked about Twitter and retweets and following others, and when you've been on it. At this point, I'm bumping that 2,000, and she talks about what do you do when you hit that. And what happens is you can follow as many as 2,000 and have, I guess, your 29 followers, but you can't go above that till you get back up to 2,000, and that's not really a problem when you're down there. But when you start hitting 1,600 and you do the thing, following others, you know, if you follow everybody back, somebody says, well, if you follow me, I'll follow you, because that keeps your numbers up. And then she talks about, you know, I used to do that, but then when you start looking at, you have to start deleting people because you're wanting to add people and you're still kind of at a ceiling. You know, the higher you get up, you get a 10% more or whatever. And so if you're 5,000, then you're going to be able to follow 5,500. But to keep your list somewhat, so it's one of the couple of hundred, and so you want to be able to pick and choose. So you have to start kind of going into who's tweeting. He told me about one thing about, you know, see who's tweeted in the last 4 months. But you know, and if you got somebody that you want to follow you that isn't, you retweet their, if you're following them and somebody that you'd like to, when you retweet it, it shows a mention for them. And they'll see that and they'll thank you for the mention, and usually they'll follow you. And this woman, she says, you know, retweets, and someone I don't recognize retweets me, I immediately check out their profile stats and read a few posts. If there are no glaring reasons why I should not follow them back, I promptly click the follow button. I figure if they were kind enough to retweet me, they should be on my follow list. There have been times when I've retweeted individuals frequently only to find out that they are not following me. In that case, I have no problem clicking on the unfollow button for that individual. I love to retweet good content. I want my followers to have the best. However, after I've retweeted someone's various tweets 10 times or so and don't get the same consideration, I stop. Oh, it's lovely to get a thanks for the RT, but along with that, I found it'd be nice to be reciprocated. And so you find that when you follow people, sometimes you follow them because they have great content. So if they're not following you, you go, you know, golly, this is things that I can retweet to my base. But after a while, you know, how long do you follow those people? You have celebrities, or you have people that have, you know, 50,000 people following them. You know, Oprah, or more than that, she has, but you know, 100,000. But she only is following maybe 100. She's never going to follow you. So you just kind of either you just want to do that or not.
No,
Yeah. Well, it becomes a challenge.
right.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, she talked about a couple other ways. You know, one good way too is, you know, there's some tools out there that you can see who you are following, who's not following you back, and you can segregate that down to, you know, how long has it been since they've actually tweeted anything. So it is good to go through your list every once in a while, and
you can do that with an application.
Yeah, you weed people out that maybe haven't used Twitter in like 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of following them if they're not even saying anything? So unless it's someone that you're praying and hoping that they may decide to pick it back up, and you know, for some reason they were out, but you know, weed your lists out. And
She says you use the FF. She says that
follow Friday. I do. Yes, yeah. I've done that strategy too.
Let's follow Friday.
Okay, so every Friday, you either use the hashtag FF, which means follow Friday, or you spell the whole word out.
I do have a question about who you're supposed to put in there.
Hashtag follow Friday. And you know, there's different philosophies on how to do it. Some people just do mass follow Fridays, where they just list as many people as they can get in 140 characters. And then there's other people that like myself, that I think that's a good way, I think, to try to let people know you're following them and they're not following you back, especially if you have a certain interest or a hobby that you're trying to build your followership because you're tweeting, you know,
I didn't
content
think of
out for that.
Using it that way.
So,
I always used it
so people that don't follow, you give them a couple chances. Try it a couple weeks in a row and say, and follow Friday these people, and you list everybody that's not following you and see how many hit return backs you get. I've tried it, and I got about half, and then the ones that didn't, I got rid of. But more than anything, you usually want to give it to people that are influencers, and influencers are people that can help you spread your message, which you know,
want to have on the show.
Are people that follow Friday, give you shout outs on follow Fridays, or they retweet your stuff a lot. Those are influencers because they usually influence their audience by sending out what you're sending out.
See, I always send out that to somebody.
So,
anybody that's retweeted me that week, I send a FF just on them.
So to your influencers, don't just do a generic follow Friday, but tell people why they should follow them. You know, you should